It's a bitterly cold day, but that's good because we're climbing up some steep hills. We're poking around a very rich mining district, and our main goal today is to, we've been actually for years, we've been trying to get into a really large mine that was in this area, and we've had a lot of promising leads and none of them worked out so far, but following some more leads today and also looking around. We haven't been up in this area before. You see I'm standing on a waste rock pile now, and then there's an adit here behind me. See that rock wall right there, and then past the adit there, but it's caved. We went up and checked. Just want to give you a sense of where we were today, what we're hiking through. Cool tree right there. Anyway, we're following this old miner's trail right now, which leads up this way. So I'll carry on and let you know if I find anything interesting. We're continuing to follow this trail up. See a little waste rock pile here. It extends down the mountain beyond this. This is what they were working on here. Following this down. It's filled in now. Like I said, we're checking all this stuff, but that's not our main target in this area. In this area, we have a very specific target. And the hits just keep on coming. We went and looked, it's caved. In fact, see all that disturbed ground up there? That pancaked down into the adit. So it's really, really closed. But when you're hiking around, you find this many adits, shafts, things like that. It's very promising. And everything else I've been seeing, you know, I've been turning on the camera maybe 100 feet, 200 feet apart from all these. So this area is just chock full of stuff. Still following this miner's trail too, so who knows what else we're gonna find. I told you this area looked promising, and sure enough, look what we just found. Looks like a vent shaft because it's not that big, but it drops down as far as we could see. Hopefully my light's helping a little bit. Fortunately, we got the rope with us, so tied off, we're gonna start dropping this. As I alluded to, we've got a mine in this area I've been trying to get into for a long time, a really big one. And this vent shaft is probably the most promising lead we've found yet on it. And I would just point out, or like to point out, that none of the things I've shown you so far are on the map at all. So this is all unmarked ground, unknown, and there's a better view. Got high hopes. Just dropped down from there where my buddy's coming down. You see there's a ladder here and some older rope. There's a rail jammed in here, presumably to help support the ladder. Looking ahead, there is, looks like a caved section right there, but there's a rail. I'll take a closer look at that in just a second. Behind me, there is a rail dropping over. It looks like a pit. We'll try dropping down that, see if we can keep going. See some beer cans down here. It's not the first ones down here, but still have high hopes this is going to run into what we want it to. That's where I was filming a minute ago. My buddy there just came down. These are those rails I pointed out to you. This is caved, but there's a notch up there. Looks like I might be able to get up, so I'll climb up there and take a look. I just scrambled up from there, and this does, well, I should say, this did keep running ahead at one time. See down there? I can't even see the camera now, so I can't tell what you're seeing. Anyway, it kept running ahead that way, but all this stuff over my head caved down into the drift. See that right there? Those are green leaves from a branch. So this obviously runs up to the outside, but it's too, I can't get through that. It's vertical there and too narrow. So it's interesting to note that it goes outside, but I'm not gonna be able to follow it. What I'm really curious about though is it looked like an ore pass dropping down. So let's go get eyes on that. That's the ladder we climbed down from to get in here. I'm at that thing looks like an ore pass. We're thinking this might have just been exploratory. You can see the vein there. See all that quartz? They might have run up on this just to see where it went. But with the track sitting here like this, they were obviously dumping stuff down there. And what's down there remains to be seen, but that's where it was going. So there's a main haulage adit somewhere down there. Let's see if we can find it. I've been dropping down this for a lot longer than I expected. That's my buddy coming down behind me. That's not where I started from. That's it's probably 300 feet or so back from where I started. Stopped here to catch my breath. A little pocket to my side. It's gotten very tight right now. It's, well, there's a little chamber here in front of me, but what I've been going through is about 3 feet high, so I'm having to sit on my butt and just kind of slide down. It looks like it drops off there into something, and it widens out right there, so I'm curious what that's all about. It's my buddy coming down there, and a nice little stope chamber right here, and look what we have running up there. Another raise. There's quartz just everywhere in here, so I can definitely see the attraction. This section, this is all quartz. It's dirty, but everything in here is quartz. Drift keeps, or excuse me, the raise keeps running down that direction. You see some of the stratification in here, and the stope, because that's what this is, a little mini stope chamber. Runs over there.
Looks like it levels out right there.
Yeah, I was noticing that. It looks like, if you didn't hear what he said, it looks like it levels out up there.
And you got lucky with the drift level.
Yeah, I'm going to run this one out if you want to go check that out. The chamber I was in is up there. I've come down to the bottom and have hit a drift level. There's stuff running off that way. Steel equipment there. This is all material that's slid down the raise. Behind me, an old pick. Those are my gloves. Old pick next to my gloves. Looks like there was a stope chamber here that has caved in, and there's all quartz here, as you can see, and it keeps running down that way. See the pillar of quartz right there? There's more stuff down that way, so I've got to climb over this and get down there, which is pretty sketchy. See these slabs ready to go, but we'll figure something out and get down there. That raise has been coming down is there. My buddy's down here with me. I'm gonna try dropping down as low as I can go first, which means going down that way. Pretty high sketch factor here. You can see all the slabs that have come down, and then you've got some pretty big air gaps and all these rocks here, which look more than ready to come down. So definitely a higher sketch factor on this one. And that's all jagged and rough, ready to come down as well. See all the gaps there. So I think I'm gonna get down to that point and then try and worm my way around and into the stope. I just crawled through that unpleasantness, and I'm happy to be through it. Looking down in the stope chamber, there's something running back that way where all that material had come down. I don't know if that's going to be doable, but I'll stick my head in and check. I'm on a little ledge right now. I see a lot of remains of timbers down there. And then also, get down these. There's that pillar there. There's a pillar here. Support timber right there. Keeps running that way. And then I thought this bottomed out, but it looks like it keeps dropping down that way. So I'll have to go down and check that out. And if that wasn't enough, there's a drift level running back in that direction. That's that chamber came into. That's just the other side of the pillar that was in front of me. Heading this way though, I'm going to run out this. See that material just come down? It's a little bit sketchy. I'm going to follow this drift out. Looks like we have the frame have a wooden ore car here in front of me. See, that would have been the back of it, the door of it. That's pretty awesome to see that. Old carbide can there. I would say that not a lot of people, that's my hand intruding the camera. I would say that not a lot of people have been down here, which I can't blame them. It's pretty sketchy, but it's loaded with quartz. That's all quartz that's come down. Climbed over that quartz pile. Lots of bits of metal and things like that in here. I noticed that container, which attracted my interest. I'm not sure what that was. But it's got a narrowed top, which is interesting. Looks like some old coffee cans. Very triangular shaped drift level here. See a T or a T, but I can't make out anything more. That almost looks like it was. No, I was gonna say I thought that might have been candles or something here, because I thought that might have been soot, but I think it's just something in the rock itself. Has some impressive quartz gobbing here. I don't think I've ever seen quartz used for gobbing before, which is cool. Every mine has got something else to offer. Old dynamite box in front of me here. This just ends here, but there's just gobs of delicious quartz all through here. This is just thick with quartz. Look at that huge quartz boulder right there, for example. That's wild how much is down here. And looks like that's the end at that point. So yeah, you can see I lost the quartz there. So I don't know if this stuff didn't assay out well, or there was some reason they didn't come and clean all this out. I mean, obviously there was a reason they didn't clean it out. I see a 48 right there. Don't know what that's a reference to. Could be the year they got to this point. Who knows? Labor costs, and actually all their costs, started spiking higher after World War II. So a lot of mines that tried to go back into operation after the war couldn't make it because the price of gold is still fixed, but all their costs were soaring. So that may have been the fate of this mine. But man, does this look promising. Wouldn't be surprised if this was extremely economical now, even if it wasn't back then. We just dropped from the upper levels of the stope here. That's that quartz pillar I keep referencing. This particular stope terminates over there. However, it appears, those are my gloves again. However, it appears that it drops down some more behind me here. See all the timbers here? More significantly, it keeps dropping down over here. Look at all this wood. See all the timbers here? There's a lot of timbers here. My buddy's checking that out. I'm going to go join him in a minute. Just wanted to show you what was here. There's an ore chute right there. Runs into all kinds of timber work and features down there. I'll be there in a minute. Now this section to my right intersects with that section that was badly caved. We didn't realize it dropped down through here. First of all, look at all that quartz and iron together there. Those of you that know your geology know how promising that is. Looking up, that's that caved chamber that we thought we were blocked in. See the rail right there? That would suggest there's possibly a drift level there. Maybe something going off the left. Regardless, it looks like a ton of very unstable rock ready to come down any second. So definitely a sketch factor on that. But This looks very promising down here, so I'm gonna head down there and see what I can do with that. All right, scrambled down from up there, and oh, look at those colors right there. All that stained quartz. That's pretty cool. Bigger story though is look at the size of this chamber in front of us. Runs way back that way. Thanks for the help of the light. Drops down farther than we can see in that direction. Tossed a rock down there. It just kept going and going. Keeps going down in front of us as well. That you could get down without killing yourself, but it's steeper than it looks on the camera, just for the record. You get down it though without killing yourself, but getting up would be my concern. I don't see any easy way to do that. Standing up, I was looking, there's another view down the stope. That just goes way down there. This is a lot bigger than we are expecting. And we're wondering if this is not the really big mine we're looking for, or at least tying into it. I was just perched there looking down the huge stope there, and I've shuffled over. I'm actually sitting in that chute right now. And that's where we looked up before, where all that rock's ready to go. And looking in front of me here, as I said, this is a chute, and you can see the ore chute drops down there. That's a false floor there. There's a little ledge right there. I don't know if it's a false floor or it's more solid. And there's a gap dropping below the chute there. It's really sketchy, but I'm going to try at least going to the ledge there. And hopefully I don't just lodge all the stuff and drop it on me and then send me tumbling down something. But either way, I'm going to try and get to that point and see how things look. We just dropped down through the ore chute and I've come on to this false floor right here. I'm dangling over the edge of it. Keeps dropping down that way. You can see a bunch of lines running up here, there, and there. Far more significantly though, look at the size of the stope chamber. That area where it disappears into the blackness over there, that's a good 150 feet or more that I can see until it disappears in the blackness. These pillars are gigantic. Those are cargo container sized pillars there. And it keeps running up that way. I haven't really figured out a good way to get over there yet without crossing over this false floor, which isn't very appealing. It also, there's another giant pillar right there. Let me get up here. So it keeps dropping down that way as well. I was filming from where my gloves are there a second ago. Anyway, like I said, keeps plunging down below us that way. But that's not all. There's another view of that false floor here. That's not all, because over here, come over here, this is that stope chamber I was looking at before from up there. This is another view of it. You see it runs up farther than I thought up on those sides. And this is 1,000 lumen light, and I can't see how far back that goes. Here you've got this forest of stoles, and it just keeps dropping down. There's a pillar right there. I might be able to get my way down to that. I might try that. This is just, the scale of this is incredible. It's an absolutely gigantic mine. I scrambled over the false floor there, and I've come into this stope chamber. There's a better look down. This actually looks like a more promising way down. If I make my way over there, and that's not too steep, although it's looking worse now that I'm looking at it from this perspective. I was thinking I could cut along that edge there, but when I'm looking at it here, it looks like there's a sheer drop there. So that may be a no-go. There's a little ledge right there. I'll go tumbling down that. Looking up, see the dimensions of the stope chamber. There's a connection to something there, but That's all caved there. Keeps running up. Giant pillar in front of me. And then I believe that's a drift level if I can get to it. I mean, let me rephrase that. I think it's a drift level either way. I just don't know if I can get to it or not. You see this stope keeps running up in that direction. Pillar right there. Good news is I think I can get down this and then start running down that way. So I'm going to see how low I can get in this thing. We've already used up the rope we had because we weren't expecting anything like this. This looks like a continuation of stoping, but I'll go check. And hopefully this rotten board doesn't fail on me, but if it does, well, that won't kill me. Alright, more stoping indeed. Looking up, it appears, yeah, the stope, it just keeps running up in that direction. It's unbelievable, the scale of these stopes. These are huge stopes by any measure, but especially for this area, they're just gigantic. Looks like it runs up there as well. And then down, I can't tell if it's plugged or what over there. I'll slide over and get a better look. I was just shooting from that ledge there. Not plugged, just bottoms out and ore pass. See the ore pass down there? That's what that's about. I'd rather not go vertical. Looking over here, the colors in this are staggering. It must be so rich for them to have done this much work. Alright, and then the stope continues up there. But it looks like we've reached the end in this direction at least. So my goal now is to keep dropping down as far as I can, because I really want to know where this bottoms out. I can only imagine what must be down there, and we know this area pretty well. I can't imagine where this possibly comes out as a haulage at it, so I'll drop down there and look.